On August 1, about 6 people were killed, specifically in Harare, for demonstrating when they felt that the elections in that particular country were rigged by the current regime of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. What transpired is that there was then a commission that was headed by Montante, popularly known as the Montante Commission. The former President of the Republic of South Africa, as well as Deputy President, and the testimonies were given by various political party leaders. It is fun to reflect on what the politicians said, especially after people died in the streets protesting against elections. I'll be taking you through down a memory lane. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. Let's first of all listen to Anselm Senyatwe's testimony, what he said regarding the August 1, 2018 shooting where people died. Let me try to play the voice. Yes.
President of God, you are also the commander of what is termed as the National Reaction Force. The National Reaction Force is a force that is configured by the subnational job for the purposes of carrying out instructions from the national job. And the National Reaction Force comprises elements from Zetaraki, members of the Defense Forces, the Air Force of Zimbabwe, not forget the element from the President Department, CIO. The main task of the National Reaction Force was to maintain law and order, basically in support of the Zetaraki. On the 9th of July, I received a warning order from the subnational job to activate the National Reaction Force. I then went on to issue operational orders, rather formal orders for the National Reaction Force to be on standby on the 10th. On the 23rd of July 2018, intelligence reports revealed that the NDC alliance were planning to unleash terror in the CBD if it were to lose the harmonized elections. It was also learned by then from the intelligence reports that the MDC alliance had some intentions to siege government installations and buildings. We then decided to deploy to provide physical security at these vulnerable static or rather government installations. On 26, we also met with the provincial job to address the instructions from the subnational job, whereupon we finalized as a team, as a committee, on the deployment of the police to cover the CBD. We then went on to establish a reserve from police support unit that was based at Police Central Police Station. We had to add on by ensuring that we have public order vehicles from the support unit stationed at these vulnerable institutions. All these deployments, therefore, were to be supported by the National Reaction Force, of which I am the tactical commander, which was blessed 100% standby. Now, Coming on to the day in question, 1 August, at around 14:30 hours, I received an urgent request from my colleague, Senior Assistant Commissioner there, who by that time was Provo Harare Province, to the effect that he was requesting my hand to assist in restoring law and order in the CDD. The Commissioner, who is also a member of the Provincial JOC, confirmed to me that the situation had deteriorated in the CDD and we were unable to contain it. With that in mind, not a secret, because we could witness that the in fact up in flames, as we could see huge dark and the black smoke, and also hearing gunshots being fired from within the CDD, whilst my elements of the National Reaction Force were still stationed in their respective holding areas. Then at that point, I was also summoned as the tactical commander by the sub-national joint commanders, who in fact comprised the Deputy Commissioner Operations, Levi Spanner, the Chief of Staff, Major General at Army Headquarters, Major General Sigauke. On that date, we had Director Operations from Air Force of Zimbabwe. They then summoned me to report to Army Headquarters, Josiah Tongo Garamagama Barracks, and in particular at the football pitch where the helicopter had landed. I was then briefed of the chaotic situation that had unfolded in the CDD, that the situation had gone out of hand by the Deputy Commissioner responsible for operations, Levi Spanner. And then I was jointly tasked by the Sub-National JOC to deploy and restore law and order in the CDD. The briefing that I got
Okay.
from the Deputy Commissioner
I think it's good to let me just stop here. I think this it's very, very important sometimes to listen to these officials, former officials speaking, because it gives you a clue of how the security clusters of Zimbabwe operates. I think I've talked about JOC, who consists JOC, how decisions are made by this particular JOC. As much as there were element of lying, especially from Senyatwe, when he said the situation had deteriorated, there was smoke, fire from the CPT, dark, whatever. Those are lies to justify the killings of the people who died on that particular day. So it's good to reflect on this and hear what some of your leaders said, especially some of the people that we expect. That's why I've always said, to me, Anselm Senyatwe is a total red flag, especially coming into the government, being actually entrusted with political leadership. There are a lot of red flags surrounding this gentleman. Let's listen to Nelson Chamisa, what he had to say during the very same commission. The words that shocked a lot of people. I'm sure those who died, most of them, when they were dying, they died saying they were protecting their votes. But if they were to wake up and listen to this, will they be proud? Let's listen.
In terms of those who demonstrated, the police were there when people were demonstrating. They must arrest whoever was there because they were with the people who were demonstrating. They must not even look at a so and so incited. How do you incite a person? In fact, how would I incite people on the 31st when I was waiting for election elsewhere? It was very stupid even for people who demonstrated. to demonstrate for the results to be released. It was stupid. Because they then opened themselves to attacks and for manipulation. I think whoever demonstrated, they are right, but I feel that it was not called for. And that's my view. I'm not insulting them, but I have a right. Just like any other. Because it was premature, it was strategic, and open to be manipulated by the enemy.
So, so there we have had it. I think we judge his words. So you hear the feeling of Nelson Chamisa, especially about the people who participated in those protests. Most of these individuals were of Nelson Chamisa. The people who died, they were staunch supporters of Nelson Chamisa. And this is the response that he had to give regarding the people who lost their lives. I think he should reflect on this and most probably learn from this, because really this was disappointing to the core. I mean, if people act, no matter how it may be perceived reckless, the people were desperate. They were acting out of desperation to try and control the situation, because their political leader was sitting somewhere, allowing the political party that is dominating the country to actually rig elections and get away with it. At least these people stood and they overcame the police. According to Senyatwe's report, he says they overcame the police, of which I have underscored the value of people standing up. Of course, out of overcoming the police, they had now to call for the assistance of the army, which came shooting at people, and as such, people dispersed. But just imagine if this had a buy-in of the then supported leader of the MDC alliance. Do you think that that protest would have failed? Because I mean, if these protests were strategic, taking place across the country, and the people standing up, everybody, they did not have the sufficient bullets to kill all the almost 16 million people in the country. It was going to be actually very, very impossible. Sometimes to win this struggle and actually get to the level of freedom, you need to fight for freedom. It would not just come on a silver platter. ZANU-PF have actually told opposition numerous times. So this is my reflection on that fateful day, the 1st of August, from both the opposition and some elements within the military. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the right